From the window to the wall, we getting lit up in it, big bouncing. We does it big up in it, big bouncing.
What's up? We're gonna get a couple things done on the red truck today, so we're gonna get these painted and put on. I wish I could take this top cap here off, but we're gonna get these drilled out, ready to go on. I was gonna try to panel bond them on, but there's not a really good place to like clamp them down, so we're just gonna do what it says in the instructions on them and just rivet them on, and then if we ever decide to, we can try to smooth it out, you know, like Bondo it where it kind of goes with the truck. But I'm not going to be too awfully worried about it. This has rust. I mean, if we ever put a new bed on it, we probably won't have a wing on it at all. While we're painting this, we'll probably go ahead and paint the new handles that I've got for it. So just knock it all out at once, and then we'll get more paint whenever it's time to, you know, whenever we get done, finished up with the patch panels on it. But yeah, I'm just going to stand you up and start lining these up and get it done. Just removing everything to make sure we have room to test fit for the side parts of the wing. So we're just going to we just took off the back of the bed cover and make sure the tailgate can go down so we can test fit. The directions call for 3 rivets per piece, but we're just going to put 2 and then double-sided tape. I didn't really want to drill into the side of the bedside for that piece that kind of wraps around the taillight. So we're just going to put 2 rivets on the top and double-sided tape on the sides. And here all we're doing is taping up the chrome so we don't get any overspray or paint on the chrome itself. We just want to cover that outer bezel of the door handles. So we're just going to tape it up really good and make sure it kind of stays open a little bit, so as we're spraying it gets everywhere and there's no like blank spots from where paint didn't touch. Now we're just starting the prep. We're just hitting it with 600 grit, just kind of giving it a good scuff so the primer will stick to everything really well. Usually I will hit it with like an adhesion promoter whenever you're painting plastic, but I was out, so we're just going to make sure we give it a good scuff and prime it really well. It definitely doesn't call to do this, but we're actually just going to take a pretty smooth file to all the edges. They're really hard edges, and I just wanted to kind of smooth them up some. So I just took a file over all the corners and kind of almost rounded off all the corners. And then there was also some loose like plastics from whenever they were being made. So we also got those off with the file at the same time. And here we're just hitting it with our prep wipe and using a lint-free towel, which is just a microfiber, and then getting them hung up ready for primer. Alright, usually what I'll do is wet sand all of these, but I want to get the truck wrapped, so what I think I'm going to do is just spray these and call it good. I used two different primers. Like the first one is sandable, and then I thought about it, so I actually did this one that's like a self-etching, so it smoothed it out a lot more. But we're just going to lay color on it now just to get it done, and so we can get it put on and everything tonight. Alright, so this is the first coat. We're going to put a pretty thin coat on so then the next coats can stick really well to it. The first coat, there's a couple spots where I went a little bit too thick, but that doesn't matter as long as you don't get any runs in it. And there's coat 2, if it'll focus. There's coat 2 on it. We're going to do one more coat of color on all of it. Hoping for no runs on the door handles. And then I'm also hoping this stuff matches decently. Like you can see there's a run on the tape right there. So we're just gonna touch that with our finger to try to stop those runs on the tape. And then we'll hit it with one more coat of color just to make sure I think they'll be fine just how they are. I don't think we'll have any problems or anything, but I'm gonna go ahead and put one more layer of coat, one more coat of color on just to give it that extra thickness on it, and just to be sure that there's no little cracks or anything on the handle like the bezels. But kind of the theme, like the accent color on this truck is really like chrome, so I had to break one of the door handles to get into the truck after it iced and snowed here, so I broke the passenger side door handle off to get into the truck. So I knew I wanted to put new handles on it anyways with the chrome handles. So that's what we're doing. That's why we're doing it. We broke a handle off, and I wanted the chrome handles on the outside to kind of tie in like the emblems and the wheels and everything. So, but yeah, we're gonna do one more coat of color here in half an hour or so. Let the heat keep blowing on it, and then we're gonna do probably 2 or 3 coats of clear. Ooh, sheesh. Look at that. It'll definitely need a wet sand and polish after, but looking pretty good. I don't even think we got a single run on these. Oh yeah. Oh, I did brush that. I did touch that one with, oh, my freaking hair. Other than that little screw up with my hair touching this one on that corner, but we just hit it right then. We didn't even have to do it later. They're all painted up, and then no runs in anything. So here in another half an hour, we're gonna let these bake a little bit in here where it's warm. And we're gonna hit it with a few coats of clear coat as well. And then we'll get to unwrap them after about an hour. And this is the first coat of clear, so it's the same thing. You want to go fairly thin on the first coat, and then after that you'll be able to really thicken it up and take your time on each piece. Alright, that's the final coat. They're looking like glass pretty well, other than the orange peel, which can be from, like leaving like not sanding down our primer, which is a big thing. But we're gonna wet sand these in the morning. We're gonna wet sand these for sure. And then there's a couple spots like right here. I left a little run right here in the clear, so I will get that tomorrow whenever that dries. And I don't think there's any runs. Yeah, there's a small little spot right here on this one. But other than that, it turned out pretty stinking good. So hopefully it matches. Like, these look a lot better. You can see, like, you can see my reflection really easily. Yeah, you can see the camera, the phone right there pretty easily. But we also, did we? I don't know. I don't know why these turned out better. Maybe it's just the texture. But these ones aren't the best, but you can still kind of see the reflection, but you can also see all that orange peel in there. So it'll look a lot better once we wet sand it in the morning. I went ahead and left these rivets, so whenever we put it on, they're not going to be as noticeable, but so that's why the rivets are on there. I just wanted to get them painted instead of them being, raw aluminum. So we'll wait for these to dry in the morning. We will put them together and we'll wet sand them, then put them together. Oh, Jesus. Just bumped into that. Yeah. And I might throw one more coat of clear on it tonight. That's 2 coats of clear, but which I think is plenty, but we'll see. But yeah, I think they're turning out pretty good. So other than that, I've got a couple. I took all the lighting off the outside of the truck, and I still have those ones underneath on the frame rails that I thought about keeping on there, but I think I'm going to take them off and actually move them. I'm going to put a few of them on the interior. I might just order a whole new set and just put the ones I have right now on the inside, just like under the dash and like under the back of the, like on the back side underneath the rear seat, or the back side of the front seats, just to get some more lighting in there. I might do that. I might order some more. Those are pretty cheap little light strips. So I might do that, and might even put some under, like in the bed, after putting that bed rug in there. But yeah, it's gonna be, like the snap of a finger for you, but I'm gonna be back in the morning and start working on these again. All right, it's the next morning and they are fully dry. We left the heater on them all night, so they're gonna be good to put on. And I was gonna wet sand them this morning, but I think I'm just going to wait until we DA the whole truck and then just kind of hit these at the same time. Those runs aren't as bad after it dried. I'll show you. So like right there, right here on this corner, you can still kind of see it, but for the most part, it's not as noticeable. And that's on the bottom side anyways. This one's actually on the top side, but you won't be able to see it. So we're just gonna call them good for now. We're gonna untape them and stick them on, but we're gonna call them good enough for now. So we're gonna set them over here on this desk and start untaping and everything. Alright, so here we're going to hit it with a prep wipe again, just to make sure that the panel's clean before we put that double-sided tape on, and then we're going to make sure everything lines up still and stick the rivets in and get them put on. That looks a lot better. It definitely doesn't. I hate that gap right there, but there's not a whole lot. I guess I could have tried to trim some of this. You know, like trim this out where it had that same body line. But then I'm afraid it would pull it in even more. You can see it's kind of uneven, but then this side raised up. But maybe once this heats up some, you can see there it's kind of half an inch or so raised, but it'll be all right. Now we're gonna get those handles put on, and I'm just gonna do the handles off camera real quick. I mean, in these trucks, there's like 4 pieces of plastic you have to pop off. To take the door panel off, you need to pop off the little window piece, the mirror piece. To like take your mirror off, you got to pop it off, and then the little bezel around your interior door handle, and then your lock, and then the little light at the bottom of the door. Some of them are just reflectors, but you got to pop all those off. And then you take a 7mm on the very bottom. One is like behind the grab handle in that little hole, and there's also one where the lock was, behind the lock. You just take those off, lift up on the panel, and then if you need it completely out of the way, which we're not going to take it completely out of the way, but all you do is just take off the you just unplug the plugs on the bottom of your like switch panel. And then after that, there's just gonna be 3 10mm bolts to remove your old handle. If you want to, you can roll your window down a little bit and just use like an extension on an impact or something. But I just reach up under there with a crescent wrench and just take it off that way. And then there's going to be one that's in the door jamb of the door behind a plug. You just pop that plug out. You can take that 10mm out, and the other one you can get to without rolling the window down. All right, so we've got it all put on. I'm gonna move the van out of the way really quick and vacuum the inside of this thing out really quick. So there's a change of plans. It is too stinking cold. My windshield right now is saying 23, so I had the van parked outside overnight to let that stuff dry, and everything in the van's frozen. So got it pulled inside, got the heater up blowing on the inside of it to try to thaw out everything throughout today. But yeah, we vacuumed it out real quick, and then I checked the van to see if I could get the waterless washout and just do the whole thing real quick. But that ain't happening. But that's the finished product. It turned out pretty good. It didn't, of course, it doesn't match perfectly, but that's Rattle can paint jobs for you. But the next one, hopefully it'll be warm enough where I can be in the garage working on it and still not be freezing to death. I'd like to maybe start on the drop spindles. If not, I've got some electric fans I might want to put in it. I don't know, there's so many things we've got. The brakes, we've got so many things to do, but during the winter it just kind of sucks. And then I've talked to a guy, a different shop, about an hour away from me that does, I work for the guy's son, detailing and stuff, and his son was telling me that his dad done like LS stuff, so he's talking to his dad to see if I'd be able to drop the truck off and have them just do the cam and everything and just do it all while it's there. And he said he might have a 3200 stall, like a converter sitting around, so he's gonna talk to his dad and hopefully get back to me within the next couple weeks. But I'll keep you posted on that. Thanks for watching. See you in a week.